Hi everybody, it's your girl Yemi from purposefulme.co.uk and welcome to my food vlog, Yummy by Design. I mentioned before that my son is coming to visit, so I already made the chicken and peppers that he's gonna take away, and that would give him meal for a few lunches, a few dinners during the week. But now I'm just going to make what he will eat while he's with me before he leaves. And what I'm doing today is I've got some chicken, so freshly cut by my butcher, all trimmed, looking nice and pretty. And I'm going to keep it really simple for this. I want it fresh, I want it simple, but I want it nice. It's got to be yummy by design at the end of the day, doesn't it? So what am I using to flavor it? 3 ingredients really. So I've got some butter, and this is like real butter, not margarine or anything like that. This is salted butter, and that means I have to adjust my salt. Normally I would use unsalted for something like this so that I could actually put my own salt to my own taste, but I've only got unsalted butter. So I've got some butter here, and then I've got fresh lemon thyme. So lemon thyme, not just the plain thyme, but you could use the plain thyme as well, that would be fine. So lemon thyme and some rosemary. These herbs are from my freezer, so what I do is buy fresh herbs and I freeze them on the same day. So I've got basil there, oregano, all kind of fresh herbs, because you can't always go out and get them, but if you buy them, freeze them on the same day, it's as good as fresh. So I've got fresh herbs, and then I've also got right here, if you can see, I've got, so right here I've got some garlic. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic that I'm mincing, and I could have used my garlic press but decided not to. So with this I just added a bit of smoked sea salt to help me to crush it and dice it better. It just helps with the dicing when you add a bit of salt. The salt creates some friction, and that friction just helps you to get the consistency that you need. So this is the consistency that I want. And then all of this is going to be going into my butter. So I've got my garlic. And remember, it's already got a bit of salt that I used to crush the garlic, so that means I've got to adjust my garlic later. Ideally, you want your butter at room temperature. This is not quite there, but it will be there in a few minutes. So you want your butter to be softened, so that should be room temperature. And then I'm going to just blend in all these herbs. I'll add a little bit of really garlicky roasted garlic salt. That's going to be lovely. I'm already salivating, even though this is still got like a couple of hours to go before it's ready. A pinch more salt, and then I'm going to add loads of black pepper. I love black pepper. Yeah, the more the better. So this is my butter, my herb butter, all going into my chicken. It's going to make it yummy. Yeah, and this is what Yummy by Design is all about. It's about doing all these little steps. Nothing too fancy, none of that. You don't need a rocket science. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to cook. You don't need cooking doesn't have to be rocket science. It can be simple, because you want to be able to cook every day. And so I like things that I can do. I mean, look at the color. Look at the color. It's such an amazing color. I'm going to get rid of my knife. It's sharp. I don't want it around me. So here's my chicken. You know, if I wanted, I could actually add anchovies to the herb butter, and that gives it another layer, but I don't want to do that today because it's for my son. He's probably going to think, Mommy, what are you doing with this? So I'm keeping it simple, plain herbs, black pepper, salt, and now the butter is soft. soft enough for me to handle. So there you go, not too bad. So now the dirty stuff, not dirty, but the fun stuff. So I've got my chicken, and now I'm going to stuff right under the skin with my butter. And that's because I want it to stay moist when I put it in the oven. And I'm going to put it in the oven at a lowish heat, so not too hot, so that it's low and slow. And I've got time, so I'm not in a rush. So this is my chicken. And all I've done, when you're handling chicken, please, 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 always make sure you wash your hands afterwards. You don't when you handle raw chicken, don't touch anything else that's not raw, and try and wash your hands as soon as you do that. So I'm going to try and keep one hand clean. So I'll only I'll try and do everything with one hand. And let's see how we go. So what I did earlier was to like create pockets in my chicken. So what that means is that I separated the skin of the chicken. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I separated the skin of the chicken. So I lifted it off to create a pocket that allows me to then push the butter right under the skin. Easy to do. It looks difficult, but it's quite easy to do. The one thing that you just want to be careful is that you don't tear the skin while you're doing that, because it's easy enough to tear the skin. So there you go. So now I'm massaging it and I'm pushing it, and so as I'm pushing it, the butter is going into the pocket that I've created for it. So that's the hard butter that you can see there. And what that will do as it cooks is that it will melt slowly and gently, like coating that chicken breast in the most amazing sauce ever. It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna put just a little bit more because I can afford to. So there you go. And then I'm just gonna bob the rest into the cavity of the chicken. So going inside that, and then some of the space between the thighs. So again, this is all around creating flavor and just taking advantage of the ingredients that you have. That's what cooking is about. Making the most of the amazing ingredients that nature has already provided for us. So there's my chicken. I'm gonna get the rest of my butter. This is yummy stuff. So this is butter, smoked salt. This is sea salt. If I don't use sea salt, like the smoked sea salt, then I use the kosher salt. I love the kosher salt, it's quite nice. So the rest of my butter has gone into the cavity, and so that will melt right inside when it's cooking. And then I just need to make sure that this is all evenly spread, and then because I don't want it to come out, I want it to like stay in. So this is gonna be amazing when it's ready. I can just imagine what it's gonna taste like. Okay, there you go. So my hard butter is in my chicken now. So my chicken is almost ready to go in the oven. I say almost because I'm going to put some salt and some black pepper on the skin, a bit of olive oil to help crisp the skin up so that it's nice and crispy when it's done. So I told you to always wash your hands when you handle raw chicken, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Hands clean. So I'm just gonna put tiny bit of olive oil, a teaspoon at most, and then I'm gonna use some of my kosher salt in my salt grinder, and then that just seasons the outside and the skin. And I'm also going to put some black pepper. Okay, so there you go, all done. So again, I love to interact with my food, and I just feel like sometimes all these little touches is what makes yummy food, and it's what Yummy by Design is all about. It's doing those little things. So things like massaging the spice into your food makes a difference than if you just put it on the skin, on the surface of the skin, and then so that's what I'm doing with my food. Don't be afraid to interact with your food. Don't be afraid to have fun. What's the worst that can happen? Dirty hands. All it's gonna take is water and salt, and you're right back, and you're all good again. So make the effort, and so I'm gonna use the rest of the salt and black pepper at the bottom of the pan to make sure I rub the base of my chicken as well, the underside. So, and remember that all this herb butter, some of it is still going to ooze out later. So when it oozes out, it's going to go to the bottom of my pan, and that means that even the bottom of my chicken will have this amazing flavor. So I don't need to put too much salt, because I already know that what's in the herb butter will come out and make an amazing jus as well. Okay, there we go. Pretty as anything. Look at this amazing chicken. Yes, it's looking pretty. So now this is all seasoned. This is all ready to go. And I will put this in my oven for about 160 degrees. And that's because I want to go with a lower cooking temperature, but cook it for just a little bit longer so that it's just moist. Easily I could have done it at 180, but I'm going to do this at 160. So I will see you when it's ready to share what the finished product looks like. And to go with this, I'm going to be doing some potatoes, some roasted potatoes, but rather than just doing roasties, I'm going to change that up a little bit, and I will be doing sliced potatoes and adding some herbs, fresh herbs, with some melted butter before I layer it into a pan, so that it's a bit more luxurious, because hey, my son is coming. So see you soon. I'll show you the finished product when it's all ready. This is the finished product. Absolutely amazing. It looks gorgeous and moist, and I just can't wait to tuck into it. And that's our potato stack. It's gone down a little bit, and that's just because the moisture has evaporated. So that's the potato stack. It's crunchy on top. It's gonna be yummy. And all I've done is just baked some broccoli, and I'm going to steam some carrots as well to go with it. So absolutely a wonderful meal, nutritious meal, easy to make, just taking a little bit of tweaks, and it just makes a sensational finished product that is yummy and juicy. Under the skin, you can see all the herbs just kind of poking their ways through and showing their faces. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again for joining me in my kitchen, where food is Yummy by Design. And please check out the sister website, www.purposefulme.co.uk. Subscribe to the weekly blog that helps you to just be better in all that you do. Thank you again. From my kitchen to yours, all my love. Thanks.